So in the world we're living in right now, where the Star Wars fan base is about as divided as the actual dark side and light side, it feels really good to have something that we can just all come together and enjoy. Hello everybody, and welcome to my review for Season 1, Episode 1 of The Mandalorian. If you guys have been living under a rock, Disney Plus launched today, which is Disney's new streaming service, and with it came a plethora of new, exciting, exclusive content, one of which is The Mandalorian, which is the first live-action Star Wars television show ever in the history of ever, and everybody's been super hyped for it. I've been super hyped for it. I know if you're watching this and you are a Star Wars fan, you've been super hyped for it because it looks really good. And I'm going to be giving you guys my thoughts on just kind of what I thought of the first episode. I am going to be diving into spoilers, so this is a big spoiler warning right here. I'm not going to be touching on everything that happened in this episode. I'm just kind of going to be talking about the episode and my thoughts and just kind of how I feel like the show presented itself in the first episode and where I think it's going to go forward. So that was your spoiler warning. You have been officially warned. So I want to kind of start off talking about the look and feel of the show, because this show is gorgeous. I mean, from the color palette to the costume design to the set design to the special effects, all of it is just absolutely gorgeous, and I would not have had this any other way. I love how the costumes are like dirty and just the grimy look of everything. It really feels like backwater Star Wars, and that's, you know, like the criminal underworld of Star Wars, and that's exactly what I wanted in this show, and they delivered, and they delivered in a spectacular way. You could really tell the budget for this show was really high, and I mean, it is. If you look it up, it's like $120 million for this show, $10 million an episode. That's pretty crazy. And two, I mean, did you expect anything less? I mean, this is Star Wars. You expect some B movie? No, we're gonna get a lot of really good special effects and a lot of really good set design and costume work, as is to be expected. And that's exactly what I wanted, and that's what we got. And so I cannot be more happy about that. I also want to touch real quick on the music for this show, because I mean, you guys know Star Wars has a specific type of music. Whenever you think Star Wars and whenever you think the music of Star Wars, I know a certain type of music comes into your head, and that's just Star Wars specific sound. I will say though that the music in this show seems to be very different than what we have ever gotten from Star Wars ever. It definitely has a little bit of similarities to previous Star Wars music that we've had, especially in big action scenes, but a lot of the music is very different. It's very monotone, and you kind of just have to hear it to get what I'm saying. The composer for this show basically just took the soundtrack and made it his own, and it really helps with the identity of this show, and I love it. Especially the Mandalorian himself, his theme. It's completely different from any Star Wars things we've heard before. It sounds very Western slash tribal almost. Like it's very different from anything that we've heard from a Star Wars movie or show or anything, but it's a very welcome change because it sounds awesome, and it's really good. Speaking of sound, also, I really do need to talk about the sound of just the general sound of The Mandalorian, because I mean, it's Star Wars. You're obviously, when you go into Star Wars, you obviously expect magnificent sound design, and that's what we got. The sound is amazing. There's so many familiar sounds from, like, you know, Star Wars, like the Gonk droid or whatever. Definitely sounds like Star Wars, and that's really all you can ask for. So I want to talk about the opening scene for a second, because the opening scene really was one of the best opening scenes I've seen in a long time. So the show starts off with like the Mandalorian landing on this like ice planet. I don't really know what the planet's called, and he walks into this like cantina, and there's this blue alien like getting harassed by people, and he's offering credits, and he's like, no, please don't kill me. I'll offer your credits. And Basically, the Mandalorian comes in, picks a fight with the two dudes that were harassing that blue alien, freaking kills them in like an awesome bounty hunter way. And he just walks up to the blue guy and sets this like hockey puck thing on the table, and a hologram shows up and it's the blue guy's face, and apparently this blue alien is wanted. That's the person he's after for the bounty. And of course the blue guy, when he saw that, is starting to like offer him credits, like, hey, listen, like there's been a mistake, like just I will give you credits to just not touch me. And the Mandalorian says such an amazing line. It's the first line he says in the entirety of the movie, and that is, I can take you warm or cold. Pretty much meaning he can take him alive or dead, whichever one you prefer. I really don't care. I'm still getting paid. That was just a great introduction scene into the tone and feel of this show, as well as an introduction to our main protagonist himself, the Mandalorian. So after that, we get taken to another planet and we meet Carl Weathers' character. I believe his name is Grief. I'm not entirely sure on that, so don't quote me on that. But we meet Carl Weathers' character, and I guess he's kind of like a bounty hunter contractor. I guess he's the one that sells all the bounty hunters the bounties. So the Mandalorian is walking up to Carl Weathers' character, and Carl Weathers' character is like, wow, you got all of them? That was fast. And as we saw from the previous scene, all of those people frozen in carbonite in the Mandalorian ship were apparently bounties that Carl Weathers had given him all at one time, and he just went and got all of them. Pretty much showing us that the Mandalorian literally means business. He does not care. He is like really good at his job. So during this scene, the Mandalorian gets basically offered what I assume to be the main bounty of this entire season, which, when Carl Weathers is announcing that to him, basically says, hey, listen, there's no bounty puck for this at all. Like, this is a completely under the table bounty that is very secretive, and so many people have tried and so many people have failed, but you are about to step up, so I will give it to you. I'll just give you the meeting location for where you're supposed to go. So the Mandalorian takes it, and he basically goes into this like abandoned house, and he sees stormtroopers as soon as he walks in the door. There's like 4 stormtroopers, and then there's like an Imperial general. Now you gotta remember, this takes place after Return of the Jedi, so the Empire is pretty much gone. Like, the Empire has been defeated and destroyed, and there's only like little remnants of the Empire scattered around the galaxy, and they're in hiding because obviously the Rebellion is now the reigning force, and they're making the New Republic and things like that. So the Empire is very secretive about what they try to do now, since they are so scattered. So basically, the Mandalorian learns from this Imperial general who looks awesome, but he has a weird way of saying line. You're the best in the parsec. And I don't know, it just it threw me off, but that's neither here nor there. Basically learns from this former Imperial general, as well as this scientist, this former Imperial scientist, that they're looking for a specific bounty. It's been very under the table. They've had to be very secretive about it because it's very, very important that this does not get out. And they don't even have a bounty puck or anything. They can't even tell the Mandalorian what the name of the dude is. All they can pretty much tell him is the last known location that he was at and his age, which is 50 years old. Around the time in this section of the episode is when the show really gripped me. I mean, I was already sold before with the special effects, the amazing intro, everything, but this scene is what sold me and got me completely gripped onto this season and just this show in general, and wanting to know where this show was going to go. So the Mandalorian ends up going to this desert planet, which I would assume is Tatooine. Of course, there's like a billion desert planets in Star Wars. Like, they need to stop making them, because we get it. There's a lot of desert planets in the galaxy. You don't have to give us more. I mean, we have Jedha, we have Tatooine, we have Jakku. Like, stop it. Stop it. I'm just gonna assume that this planet is Tatooine because I kind of want it to be Tatooine, but also it looked like identical to Tatooine. So this is the part of the episode where our hero meets the IG droid, which is not IG-88, and I totally thought it was IG-88 when I saw the trailers, but it's not. It's an incredibly different bounty droid, and he basically is already there at the place where the Mandalorian is supposed to get the bounty. So the Mandalorian's like, what the heck, there's another bounty hunter already here? I thought I was the only one assigned to this mission. So he basically goes down there and talks to the IG droid, and they start working together in this freaking amazing firefight that I thought was like awesome. I mean, it was just absolutely awesome. It was shot so well, and it just, man, it just was so gritty and awesome, and just, I loved it. It was also a lot of humor in this episode, but specifically in this scene that I was just so pleasantly surprised about. Like, for instance, the IG droid the entire time of this firefight is trying to kill himself. He's trying to self-destruct himself because he said that in an event of like no solution where he was going to die anyway, he has to self-destruct himself. He's programmed to self-destruct himself so that nobody gets him. And it was just hilarious because the whole time he's like, I'm about to self-destruct, I'm about to self-destruct. And Mandalorian's like, no, we will shoot our way out of here. Don't do that. After this scene though, we kind of realized that we're probably not going to be seeing that IG droid anymore. That was probably the only episode he's going to be in because he freaking died at the end of this episode. The Mandalorian shot him for reasons that I will get into now because it's arguably the most important reveal of this entire freaking show, of this entire episode, and that is the apparent bounty that the Empire has created, that they want this, whatever this person is dead, is a baby Yoda. This floored me when I first saw it. I mean, it absolutely just blew my mind because I was not expecting that at all. They said this thing is 50 years old and it blew my mind. So obviously this is not like the Yoda from the movies, obviously, because this takes place after Yoda has already died. So this is obviously just another of Yoda's species. It's a Yoda creature. We've only seen another Yoda creature in like the Phantom Menace in the background, and then of course in the extended universe that's no longer canon anymore when Disney bought Star Wars, but that's pretty much all we have seen of other Yoda-like creatures. So it's very interesting that they're bringing another Yoda creature into this, and I don't know, I just wonder where they're gonna go with this. Like, it begs the question, why does the Empire want this Yoda creature dead? I mean, like, why do they want it, or much less, why do they want it so much? Is this a clone of Yoda? Is this just another Yoda creature that they want to experiment on to kind of understand the Force more? I don't know, but it's very intriguing, and I really can't wait for the rest of this show going forward. After that though, the episode just kind of ends, and I have to mention something that I absolutely loved that this episode did. We did not see the face of our main character this entire episode. Our main character here did not take off his mask once, and I loved that. Honestly, I hope that he does not take his mask off in like the next few episodes because I really love the mystery of not knowing what it looks like. Obviously, we know the actor, we know who's playing him, but we don't know what he looks like in this show. I don't really think that means much because there can be makeup altercations and we don't know what he looks like. Is he scarred? Is he burned? Does he just look normal? Is he just gonna pull like a Kylo Ren from episode 7 and just look like an angsty teen when he takes off his mask? Is that what we're gonna do? Either way, I'm just really excited we did not see his face this entire episode. Well, long story short, great episode, great start to this show. I cannot wait to see where the show goes. I think we're getting the next episode Friday, so it's not even gonna be a week. I probably will be doing reviews for every single episode since there is only going to be 8 and Star Wars is a huge part of my life. So be sure to stay tuned for that. This was definitely a great premiere, one of the best pilots I've seen ever, and I'm just so excited to see where this show goes. So what did you guys think of The Mandalorian? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Are you still cautiously optimistic, or are you still just reserving your judgment until the rest of the show happens because some of the stuff in recent Star Wars has not been your favorite? I don't know, but let me know in the comments down below. I think that's a great discussion topic. Also, if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so that you can be notified whenever I post a new video. As always, this is Z-Striker signing off. I will see you in the next video, and you all have an amazing day. Peace out, guys.